Welcome to Drive Culture, where we talk about what drives you, and I'm your host, Greg Masterson. And I'd like to welcome you to the very first podcast on Drive Culture. This is going to be the newest podcast where we talk about what drives you. We also talk to car enthusiasts around the world because car culture is worldwide, and we're going to go ahead and travel the world and discover all about cars and what drives you. Once again, my name is Greg Masterson. I'm your host, and today we're going to go ahead and introduce you to the first episode of Drive Culture. This is our first ever podcast, so this is going to be very interesting, and we're also going to be having a lot more hosts on the podcast as well, starting off in the future episodes. So remember, if you like this podcast after listening, go ahead and subscribe to us, follow us. This is going to be in the iTunes store. It's also going to be on YouTube, and we're going to post this everywhere your listening pleasure can hear. So let's just go ahead and talk about drive culture and what we have planned for the future, and also myself. So once again, my name is Greg Masterson. I'm a car enthusiast in California. I was born and raised in California, but I've also traveled the world experiencing all about cars. If it has wheels, I love driving it. If it's got two wheels, I love riding it. Heck, if it's a boat, I want to ride on it. So I love anything that moves. I love anything that has an engine, that's got power, that makes noise, that goes zoom. Anything like that. That's my passion. Ever since I was a kid, I loved cars. That's the one thing I talk about to everybody about is ever since I was a kid, I loved cars. I could actually name Mercedes and BMW before I could even name toys. At the age of about 3, I could tell the difference between a Mercedes and a BMW just on the street. My parents used to tell that to a lot of people, and it's very interesting because I grew up and I just love cars. I could probably say that the first 16 years of my life was just waiting to drive an automobile because the automobile is such an amazing machine, and what's cool about the automobile is how it's transcended culture worldwide, not just in America, but around the globe. I've traveled everywhere from Dubai, Europe, all around the United States, and everywhere I go, I find somebody that truly loves the automobile just as much as me. So I'm glad you guys are all watching this because that's why we wanted to make the Drive Culture podcast. Is we wanted to talk about everything that really drives you because the automobile is such an amazing machine, and everybody loves it. Like old people, young people, guys, gals. Even I've met people and they don't even speak the same language as me. We can't communicate properly and on the same level, but we can be talking about cars. I say Toyota, or I say Ford, or I say Lamborghini. Their eyes light up, and we start connecting, and we know about engines, and we know about cars. So that's why we wanted to start the Drive Culture podcast. So I'm very glad to have you guys join me to talk about everything that's car related, and we're going to talk about anything that rolls with wheels. A little bit about myself. I work for a company called Masterson's Car Care. They're actually our sponsors, so if you want to go ahead and check out their website, it's mastersonswax.com. And what I do is I make detailing supplies and products because I love this car industry. I've wanted to work in this car industry since I was even a little kid, and it's amazing to be surrounded by so many cool cars. I've had the opportunity to drive and be around some of the coolest cars anybody's ever seen. I remember just a few years back, we went to Dubai and saw some of the most amazing one-off cars, custom-built cars that we had ever seen, that I had ever seen, and all my friends that I travel with had ever experienced. But even in California, I'm born and raised in California. Right now, our podcast is coming from Anaheim, California. And Anaheim, California is an amazing place because literally you could drive about 5 miles up the street and you could be seeing a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a 993 Porsche or a Daytona Cobra or anything that's rare and exotic. You could see that driving around the street. So that's something that's really amazing about Southern California. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you a lot on Drive Culture. So in the future, we're actually going to be having some more guests come on Drive Culture, talk about their passion for driving, talk about their passion for cars. and everything that really drives you. So remember, if you like this podcast and you want to follow us in the future, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, go ahead and subscribe to us on the iTunes Store where you're viewing this as well. Go ahead and give us a follow. Remember, this is our first ever episode of Drive Culture. So we're going to be having some more people and some more interesting talk about, well, what really drives you and really the world culture of the automobile, because 2020 is here. It's going to be an amazing year for the automobile. You can now buy a Corvette for the year 2020 that can do 194 miles an hour for $60,000. It's just incredible, that type of power that they have. If you told that to Henry Ford just about 100 years ago, he would not. I don't think he would believe you. That's the most amazing thing about the car. So we're going to actually be inviting some amazing people on this show. This is the first one. I'm here solo today, but we're going to make this interesting. And my goal is to get some of the most interesting people about cars on this show. You never know. My goal, let's get Jay Leno on Drive Culture. That's the goal as soon as we get rolling with this episodes is, can we get Jay Leno on Drive Culture? We're going to be talking about a lot of cool people. I'm actually going to be inviting an author friend of mine who wrote a book called The Detailing Dictionary. I'm going to go ahead and give him an invite to speak on Drive Culture. I'm going to try and find as many cool people as I can find to be on this amazing show, just so you guys can experience the best in car talk and the best in car chat. Let's see how long this we've been rolling for. We've been rolling for about 7 minutes. We wanted to actually keep this one a little short because I wanted to make sure that we just get you into what's happening with Drive Culture. So if you have any questions about Drive Culture, or you'd like to give us a topic to talk about, remember, send us an email at drivecultureshow@gmail.com. You can send us a email. That is drivecultureshow@gmail.com. You want to hear a topic, you want to see a special guest, go ahead and send us an email. We would love to hear from you. Also, let's just for the future, since we're in the first episode, I'm going to be traveling to SEMA. If you've never heard about SEMA, SEMA is the Specialty Equipment Manufacturing Association. And what it is it's the biggest group of aftermarket auto part manufacturers in the world. They gather together in Las Vegas, Nevada. And if you have ever seen videos of this online, you will know it's one of the craziest shows that you have ever seen. Sorry about that on the mic. This is one of the craziest shows you have ever seen. And it's pretty much everything aftermarket. Nothing is stock at SEMA. And I travel to SEMA every year with Masterson's Car Care to do promotions. But this year, I'm going to be doing some amazing stuff. Usually I go to do how-to videos, just so you guys know, listening out there. I know it's a little bit weird because I'm just me on the mic. But my background is I love doing automotive detailing videos. I do automotive detailing videos for Masterson's Car Care. I've made over 1,000 videos on YouTube. Check out the channel Masterson's Car Care. That is youtube.com/Masterson's Car Care. And I've done over 1,000 videos on YouTube. You can find me on there as well. But that's why this is so interesting for me, because I've never done a podcast. This is the first time I've done a podcast. So, it's the first time for everything. So I really think that it's going to be a great transition to talk to more people and get them out of the limelight. See, I like doing videos. I like being on the camera. And I think the camera shows a lot of great stuff on visualization, but you don't get to take time and discuss ideas and concepts and memories with people on video. It's a little bit difficult. We're actually going to be recording this podcast as well. So when we get guests on here, we're going to be doing a recording of the podcast. So you're going to see a lot of information from Drive Culture. You're going to see podcasts that you can listen to while you drive. You're also going to see videos that we're going to put on YouTube and Facebook. So you're going to be able to experience guests that we bring on this show. Remember, Jay Leno, if you're listening to this, come on to Drive Culture. We want to have you right here on Drive Culture. I think it's going to be truly amazing to have you on here. Jay Leno, get down here to Drive Culture and be one of our amazing guests. That's our goal, to get you on here. We're going to be having videos, and we're also going to be having audio from the podcast. So if you want to watch our guests and you want to interact with them, we're going to be having great video on there as well on our YouTube channel. So I think that's been about 10 minutes. We'll keep it a little bit short today, and we're going to be doing the next episode of Drive Culture very soon. Remember, if you like this, follow us on the iTunes Store, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and also remember to check out all of our other upcoming videos and audio content that we place out, where we talk about the worldwide culture of driving. Remember, on this show, it's not just about cars. It's going to be about cars, trucks, motorcycles, RVs, boats, anything that you can drive. If it's got a steering wheel, we're going to do it. Just so you know, I can ride motorcycles, I can drive boats, I can drive cars. The only thing I've never driven is a semi-truck, and that's on my bucket list. My bucket list, one of the bucket list things I'm going to be doing is I need to drive a semi-truck, and it's got to be with a manual transmission with a lot of speeds. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you guys very much for listening, tuning in. Remember, like this, subscribe, follow us, and we'll tune into the next episode of Drive Culture, where we talk about what drives you. We'll see you next time.